Hi guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the string of dolphins. The misconception about this plant is that it is easy care. I don't think so. Well, I guess once you get to know them, it would be easier. But when I first got it, it was kind of dying on me. This plant was a diva, and what the best that I could do for it was to cut some of these branches or the trails off and repot it in another pot because I did not want this plant to die on me and not have saved it because it was very expensive. Number one, they are expensive because they're kind of the most sought after trailing plants or hanging plants, and they're actually more popular and harder to get than the string of pearls, believe it or not. The string of pearls, when I first got started with this, was the death of me. I usually call it my wayward plant because, or my wayward child, because it was always dying on me. I've had like three or four of them in my lifetime, and they just died on me. So I'm going to help you out with your string of dolphins. As you can see, my string of dolphins is thriving right now, but it took me at least 2 years to get it to where it is right now. So the first thing I want to talk about is watering needs. Unlike some rare succulents, they can get super tricky when you water it, especially because they need a good soak of water until it runs out of the drainage hole, and have to have fast draining soil for this. And also, it likes to be under shade with this filtered light. See where it's at right now? That's how it always likes to be, in shade with filtered light, whether it's the summertime. In the summertime, it's under shade awning that I have, and it gets filtered light, it gets the heat, it gets everything, and it stops growing. So the growing season, this flourished for me this fall, and because it's been so cold, chilly actually here in Northern California. However, because it's a soft succulent, soft body succulent, I would not leave it outside if it's colder than freezing, like 31. Actually, when it was about 34, it was already struggling a little bit. So I had to put it, and it's been raining too. So I had to put it somewhere where it gets a lot of sun in the wintertime. And then I moved her back to where she is right now. I gave her direct sun for about a week, and then I moved her back here under shade because it's starting to get very sunny and very well, it's still cold, but not really that cold. And I just didn't want it to burn under the heat of the sun or the intense sunlight. So I also repotted some of this, and I'll show it to you later in this video, where I repotted some of them just to salvage it. But that is located under very, very shady during the winter time, and it seems to be doing great. I tried to put it under direct sun, and that didn't work out for me. So I guess unless it's really, really rooted, I guess unless it's really, really rooted maturely in a big pot where where it's in an arrangement, it'll probably do really well. However, when I first got it, like I said, for a year it didn't do anything for me. It just sat there and just got skinnier and skinnier. I thought it was gonna die, so I just left it where it was under the shade, and then all of a sudden, it just boom, it was right there. So my biggest advice for you guys is not to give up on it. So if it's not producing anything for you for a year, and it also doesn't look like it's dying, like it's drying up or whatever, don't give up on it. Just keep fertilizing with the gentlest and the best fertilizer, and I can't stress this enough, is worm casting. You put worm casting in there and just forget about it. You don't have to worry about, oh, is the roots going to fry because the fertilizer is chemically, the chemical makeup of the fertilizer is too much for the roots or whatever. Especially the cheap ones that you get from Walmart. I don't trust those things. It just, I don't know. I just, for me, or when you fertilize the plants, any plant, with organic fertilizer like worm casting, the foundation and the makeup of the cells would be, in the long run, a lot more prolific and a lot more healthy, if you will, than if you use, synthetic fertilizer that you buy from the store. And also, it's kind of free, guys. I mean, you just throw your vegetable peels and stuff, and they eat it, and they poop wonderful garden free, free fertilizer for you. So it's really important. I can't stress this enough, how important it is to use a fertilizer that just normally happens in nature. And like this one, I've been fertilizing for a year and it wasn't doing anything. But just because you're not seeing anything happening, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. And then boom, this fall, it just got a lot of rainwater. They love rainwater. Collect your rainwater. Um, and the worm casting together, it just, all of a sudden, I mean, this is like suddenly. But yeah, guys, so this is it. It's really simple. Everything that you need to do for any other plant is the same thing you need to do for this plant. And the softer the leaves and the more plump the leaves are, the more shade you need to give it, like filtered light, you know. And if you have, like, sedums are fine. What if you put it in direct sunlight, because they're sedums, they just grow, and um, those are the ones that you can really actually put in, high heat, and of course your cacti and everything. It's better to underwater it instead of overwatering, because they hate, like everything else. Like, even now that I'm learning about indoor plants, I know that even indoor plants don't like wet feet. And propagation is very easy. You just take, you either propagate it in water, or you can take those, um, the little tendrils, and put them in soil. Make sure that you don't water it for, I would say, 10 days, even more, because they're succulents. They have their own reserve of water. So it's not like they're going to die right away. But if you overwater it, that's when you run into problems. Don't leave it in the water for too long, because if it starts growing the roots, like maybe an inch or maybe an inch and a half, you need to put it straight in the soil and get it used to being in the soil. Because once your roots start growing, and it's in water, then it's not gonna like it, especially when the roots are mature. It's not gonna like to be in soil anymore. So um, the disease, fungal disease, you don't have to worry about that as long as you don't overwater. And I can't stress this enough, that any plant that is over water is going to hate you. It's gonna die. Underwatering is way better, but don't. go down that road too much, but overwatering is just the worst. So that's it, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I hope that you learned a little bit. While you're here still with me, if you would click that like button, that gives the YouTube the algorithm, okay, so the algorithm, so that people can see more of my videos, and it helps me a little bit more. If you appreciate me, please press that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And we're going to cover more stuff in the future. I think string of dolphins is like one of the most sought after, but just because you seek it and you buy it and then you don't know how to deal with it, then there's going to be a lot of unsuccessful situations. But if you do, then that's great. All right, love you guys. So this is what I would look like if I was a cartoon. Not bad, I should say. I mean, the hair's kind of the same, but I don't know about the face.